Right, fellow Rangers, let's see if we can get this propeller to still spin after we assemble it. Essentially, in the instructions, and as it says here, it shows here that node loop between here and here, so I'm assuming that you should be able to still spin the propeller when it is together. So, yes, let's see if we can pull it off. Any marks that needs to be touched up with white, I will be doing afterwards off screen, simply so that we can get on with it. I hope everyone is doing okay. I know I try to ask how everyone is at least once a video or every so often. Yes, I know I've been fairly busy getting things done. Right, so this goes in through the back of here. Make sure it goes all the way. Yep, that's all the way in there. So then, according to that, we don't add glue to this bit and we push that in. Apologies if the camera loses focus. It's because it's small items that it will struggle with. Yeah, then essentially then what happens is then you glue the propeller onto here and then essentially the cone, which I've done my best regarding to replicate the actual scroll on the, even if it doesn't work, to essentially, as long as it looks accurate and the way it should be. Right, where's that cone? There it is. Look at that. Yeah, it won't come up on the camera for some reason, but hence the reason why I use a little bit of blue tack in here to once it all comes out. There we are. Right, tad bit of glue there, and then there we are. And voila, oh dear. Yeah, that's the joys of the Tremors, fellow Rangers, is that it has a nasty tendency. Oh, it's not sticking in. It's called, screw it, sod it. It's not going to work. It's not doing what as it's said it will do. So rather than mess with it, it's not exactly like it's going to be played with. It's just a static model, what it should be, and always will be. Right, let's get back on with getting the last bits of this kit done. Right, fellow Rangers, this is what the best I could do with the mottling effect. I know it's not the best, but that's the best I could do. The rest of the camouflage on the other hand went perfect. To my not personal belief, it went as good as it can be. So It's not left to do, not much left to do now on a FW190. The only last thing to do now, apart from the gun sight, which needs to be here, I've left that till last, essentially, roughly, apart from obviously the water slides, is I've got the canopy to fit, which I'm very pleased on how it's turned out. Once the camera picks it up. Well, you can see the lines are pretty well done, so all I gotta do now is fit the canopy on, after of course the gun sight, and then water slides, and then this episode of the FW190 build is finished, and then we will be moving on to the last episode after this, which will be of the history of the FW190, what history I've been able to find out about our FW190. I will be honest, German aircraft seem to be harder to find information on than obviously Allied aircraft. Using the old nail scissors here because I don't want, if I can, and I want to avoid breaking the gun sight. It is quite small. The camera just about picks it up in my palm of my hand. So all I got to do now is place some PVA glue off what I use. I find that it dries and it doesn't leave any. It doesn't go stringy like this does. It is essentially, it dries clear as well. Hobbycraft is just the place where I buy that particular one where I bought that particular one from. Oh, that's me pushing the tripod over. Nearly. Right. Tweezers. Let's see if I can get it put on properly the first time. I believe so. Yes. Right, last but not least is the canopy itself for this bit. Typically it won't focus, but it probably will focus when it's actually on the aircraft. But first what we'll do is we'll cut out the front part of the canopy, which has been painted on the sprue. Again, I'm using nail scissors to remove them, so that, because I find that if you try to use the actual cutters that I use on all the other parts, they're not strong enough to survive being cut. Right, so because this is a bigger part, we need slightly more PVA. It doesn't take long for this to dry in its defense, which is good. And if you've used slightly too much, you can just dab it away. That's the front part of the canopy on. I shall just put a tiny tad more. I'm not going to put too much on my cotton bud, as I don't want to be using too much. Not because I got not enough, but just enough to do what I need to do. Tracers once again. Yeah, Airfix have done it so that you can actually have the canopy open, but I'm not going to, simply because I don't put a figure in the canopy, simply in the cockpit, because of the fact that I personally can't get them the way I want them to be. I'm not as good as other model makers on YouTube, but I find it difficult to get the details. So rather than struggle and not be happy with the details on the pilots or the crew, I leave them out. And as you can see now, as the camera's focusing, you can see the detail I've managed to pull off on the back part of the canopy by here. It is all correct to what it should be. We will refer to, pardon me, the So yes, I think I've done the mottle well enough for an amateur. And the propeller, the cone anyway, get the actual twirl on there as well as I can get it. So literally one last thing that needs to be done on this is the water slides. And that is it on this episode. Will be the end of this episode, as then the next episode 3 will be the history of the FW190 and what history I've been able to find out on our FW190. So you'll be back with me in a moment after I've given the canopy some time to dry. Right, fellow Rangers, it's pretty much its time now for the water slides. This shouldn't be too hard actually, as there's not that many on here. Obviously, I will try to use as many of them as possible, but obviously I won't be able to use them all, simply because of the fact that some of them are quite small, as you can see. So we will crack on with that. As you can see, fellow Rangers, our FW190 is now essentially finished. It's not too bad, if I say so myself. I know I got a touch up where I've had 2 items come off, but other than that, it's essentially done, and they're easy enough to sort out. You can just see where I had that one cannon off. If it came off, so I had to reglue it, and it was quite fiddly. So yeah, this is it pretty much. Essentially, we've done it. So the next episode will be the last of the FW190 build. And pretty much we'll move on to whatever my father has picked next. And I will reveal it in the last episode of this one. Of this little mini-series as I normally do. But anyway, one last thing. Like I say, I'm not officially affiliated with this charity, but I do like what they do. Who is Models for Heroes. Essentially, they help veterans who essentially dealing with stuff like PTSD and stuff like that. So far at the moment, last time I checked their website, they have built over 12,000 kits, which is absolutely incredible, I think. But if you are like myself and you want to help out the veterans as much as possible, because they're the reason why we got our freedom, there are 3 ways to support them. 1, of course, financially. 2, if you got a kit, let's say for example you got a kit. I know we've just finished this one, but it's the same principle. Or if you got a kit like this and you don't think you're gonna ever build it, you can donate that kit to them. Or with Airfix, you can essentially, if you're not part of the club, you can put these flying arrows in and redeem a free kit. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm currently collecting these 4 Models for Heroes, and I'll be passing them on once I get a few more. But all you gotta do is simply cut it out and then stick it in an envelope and then send it off. Job done. It's as easy as that. Anyway, fellow Rangers, I hope you have enjoyed today's video. If you have, please hit that like button very, very hard. And also, if you have liked today's video, please and you're not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing to the channel, as the goal, my personal goal I've set myself for this year, is 600 subscribers. We are doing very, very well at the moment at 547 at the time of this recording, so we're doing well. And yes, we've still got plenty of kits to do. Also, if anyone is wondering, the car show season is not far from starting up again, so I will be doing more car content as well as all other content. So till the next time, my fellow Rangers, I hope you all take care, keep doing what you do. Also, if you built your own model kits, please send me a photo of your model kit in the email in the description below, as I would love to see what builds you're up to, and possibly learn 1 or 2 things from you as well. So till the next time, my fellow Rangers, I hope you all take care, keep doing what you like doing, and this is the Lone Ranger signing out.